You know him well, Niall Stanage from The Hill. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you again.
Again, yeah. He stuck around for 2 hits. We love that. The viewers love it. Okay, so Tucker Carlson, equally embattled and radical for a lot of people, sitting down with President Trump at the same time as this debate. What is the dance right now between President Trump and the RNC? I mean, they just want him to sit down, be quiet, and play nice. They know that's not going to happen.
They do know that's not going to happen. And the problem for them is he is the biggest attraction. He's like the headline act, right?
They need him.
They do. And they need him more than he needs them, which is the fundamental dynamic here. So then you have this debate that they have put all this effort into is supposed to be this real showcase for everyone who matters, and the person who matters more than anyone else isn't there.
So do you think that this is going to, are they going to try to pay him back down the road approaching 2024?
I don't know if they are. I mean, I noticed some conservative media channels seem to be getting a little more warming up to Ron DeSantis after Trump didn't go for this debate. I don't really know what that's about, but I think the RNC doesn't have that much leverage to hit Trump, really, because he's not dependent on them for anything very much.
Good point. And speaking of Ron DeSantis, you know, he and Governor Scott, they have some of the biggest donors when it comes to this particular campaign. Scott getting a little bit defensive over DeSantis' comments that DeSantis, is the only one out of all the candidates who's really truly vying for a chance to be in the White House. All the rest of them are trying to get another cabinet position. I don't know how he can say that when, I mean, Tim Scott has less than 10% voter approval in polls. So does DeSantis make a point?
DeSantis does make a point, and when you talk to his campaign, they say this again and again. It's a two-person race. It's former President Trump or their guy, Governor DeSantis. They have a big vested interest in saying that, of course, Adrienne.
Right.
Because if this gets scrambled and it becomes a multi-candidate field, that likely spells doom for Ron DeSantis. His only possible lane, and it's a very narrow lane so far, is I'm the alternative to Trump, but kind of Trump-ish at the same time. It's an odd trick he's trying to pull off.
But a lot of Republicans want Trump-ish without all the drama. We've talked about that before. However, DeSantis has a problem. Vivek Ramaswamy. He's second in so many polls now. In fact, sports bettors are saying he's going to win this whole debate and doing quite well. Has it helped him that he hasn't attacked, that he hasn't challenged other GOP candidates, including the former president?
I think it probably has. I think in the show yesterday you were talking about a poll relating to the indictments where it talked about the overwhelming majority of Republican voters believing those indictments were politically motivated. And there's a big issue of Republican voters feeling that they should rally around the former president. There is a massive problem here, and no one has been able to solve it in this year's race. If you go against Trump, a large number of Republican voters recoil from that. And if you back him up, well, why would people vote for you then? Why don't they just vote for the real thing?
It is a tightrope, so to speak.
People keep falling off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, they're not even in the race. You know what I mean? If you have 2%, 4%, what's that compared to 62% for former President Trump in the latest polling? Okay, Ramaswamy followed by Chris Christie. No, it's DeSantis, then Chris Christie, surprisingly. Do you think Ramaswamy is likable because he can rap, or because he shows himself playing tennis or working out with his wife? Or I mean, what is it that has set him so apart?
It is the idea of freshness, I think. I mean, he's never held elected office, of course. He's very young, at least by political standards. He's very wealthy, successful in the business world. He has more sort of capacity to understand the modern social media world and play to that.
Well, this is all these stats. I want to make sure that we get this in. Online sportsbook Bovada was listing some of these stats. But let me just get to these odds of possible outcomes, because we did tease to that. There's a wager for who's most likely to drop out of the race, which is Asa Hutchinson right now in the lead. We are expected to see at least one candidate bow out of the race after tonight's debate. I mean, that's what sports bettors are hoping. I don't know if that's going to happen. Odds makers are betting on whether a fly will land on Mike Pence's head again, like they did the last time we saw this. Pretty steep odds there. And then they're betting on whether a candidate will storm out of the debate. Do you think there will be any surprises, including the former president just deciding to show up and say, hey, I'm here again?
I can't expect that he will show up. There are always surprises in debates. That is what makes them so interesting. But I don't know what it's going to be tonight. We'll find some moment that none of us are expecting that'll going to be what we'll be talking about tomorrow.
I was going to say, and you're going to be back in studio tomorrow to discuss that.
As long as I make it back from Milwaukee safely, yes.
Oh, my. Going all the way to Milwaukee and coming back. All right.
I'll tell you.
Earning those, not airline miles, I guess, earning those rental miles. Thank you so much, Niall.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.